General Hospital spoilers reveal that the DNA results from that pier have shaken everything I thought I understood about this mystery. And let me tell you, when Dante learned that the second blood sample on the gun didn't belong to Jason or Cullum at all, but matched up in this eerie way with someone from the Quartermain family, my heart just about stopped. I've seen the Quartermains hide more skeletons than any other family on television, from old money schemes to hidden heirs and betrayals that span generations. Yet this revelation feels different, because it points to a real killer still walking free among them, protected by layers of influence that go way beyond poor Charles. Dante realized in that moment that the WSB wasn't simply covering up the shooting like they have done in so many past operations we've watched over the years. They are actively shielding this hidden assassin, and that realization hit me like a thunderclap because it forces us to question everything we thought we knew about loyalty and justice in this town. I have always trusted Dante to do the right thing, even when it tore at his own sense of family. But now, with this new layer of danger closing in, I find myself wondering aloud in my own mind who among the Quartermains could be capable of such cold calculation, and the evidence strongly suggests it's someone far closer to the core than we ever imagined. What makes this arc so electrifying is how it ties directly into the personal stakes for Dante, who has finally pieced together the identity of the person who shot Cullum, and yet that knowledge brings with it an obsession that I never saw coming. The idea that he might actually have to arrest Rocco, his own son, is the kind of gut-wrenching dilemma that General Hospital does better than anyone, and I can prove it. With the way the blood evidence lines up so perfectly against the family ties we've watched develop since Rocco was just a boy caught in the middle of his parents' complicated lives. It isn't the original plot we expected from earlier hints about random violence on the pier. This feels like a deliberate shift that highlights how the sins of the past always circle back to the next generation. And I love how the writers are proving that point without making it feel forced. Dante's protective instincts are on full display here, especially after Ross discovered that Liz had tampered with those medical records to get the sample he needed. When Ross sent that bloody threat straight to the nurse's station, the threat felt so immediate and vicious that I actually leaned forward in my chair, clutching my remote, because no one deserves that kind of terror after years of selfless service like Liz has given. Dante knew right then he had to step up and shield her by any means necessary, and that decision speaks volumes about the man he has become. The kind of hero who balances badge and heart in ways that keep me coming back episode after episode. I have to admit, my own theory about who the real Quartermain connection might be differs a bit from what some of the early rumors suggested online. But the DNA match provides such strong proof that it can't be dismissed as coincidence, and it sets up a confrontation that will test every relationship in that powerful family. We've seen Jason survive impossible odds and emerge stronger, yet this time the shadow falls differently, almost as if the show is reminding us that even the most steadfast characters can be blindsided by blood ties they never anticipated. And the way it all swirls around Dante's growing obsession with protecting both the truth and the people he loves most, including the very real possibility of having to bring Rocco in for questioning, creates this perfect storm of suspense that has me counting the hours until the next airing. Will Dante's sense of duty win out over fatherly love, or will the WSB's hidden hand pull more strings to bury the evidence once and for all? The answer comes fast when you look at the mounting pressure on Liz and the way Ross's threat escalates the personal danger, proving that no corner of the hospital is safe anymore. Thinking back over all the decades I've spent with these characters, This storyline stands out because it blends the medical drama we cherish with a criminal investigation that feels ripped from today's headlines, yet rooted in the classic General Hospital tradition of family loyalty tested to the breaking point. Liz has always been the steady heart of the nursing staff, the one who puts patients first even when her own world is crumbling. And watching her take that career-jeopardizing step for Dante shows a depth of friendship and quiet heroism that I find truly inspiring at my age. It makes me reflect on how many times I've seen nurses and doctors on the show bend rules for the greater good. From life-saving secrets in the operating room to quiet acts of defiance against powerful forces. And this moment with Cullum's sample feels like a culmination of all those smaller choices. The peer evidence, with its mismatched blood that strangely aligns with the Quartermain line, isn't just a plot device. It's the key that unlocks a deeper conspiracy involving the WSB and Dante's dawning awareness that they are protecting the true shooter adds this international layer of intrigue that reminds me of the old spy stories we followed with Anna and her colleagues. I never expected the threat to come so directly to Liz's workspace with that gruesome message from Ross, but it heightens the urgency and forces Dante into action that feels both heroic and heartbreaking. What truly keeps the fire burning for me as a dedicated fan is how this all circles back to the father-son bond between Dante and Rocco, a relationship we've watched grow through so many trials already. The new shock of Dante realizing exactly who pulled the trigger on Cullum, combined with the mounting proof that it could lead straight to his own child, creates an emotional wildfire that I can feel radiating through every scene. It's not the straightforward arrest we might have predicted in earlier episodes. Instead, it's layered with doubt, love, and the heavy weight of evidence that refuses to lie. I ask myself, could a young man like Rocco truly be caught in something this dark? And the answer snaps back quickly with the DNA results staring us in the face, proving the connection beyond any doubt, while still leaving room for the kind of redemption or misunderstanding that General Hospital excels at delivering. Dante's determination to protect Liz at all costs before it's too late shows the same fierce loyalty he extends to his family, and that parallel makes the entire arc feel alive and urgent, like something big is about to explode right in front of us. I've shared this excitement with my longtime viewing friends over coffee, and we all agree that the heat surrounding this mystery is unlike anything in recent years because it touches the core of what makes General Hospital special. Real people facing impossible choices in a town where secrets never stay buried for long. The way Liz's brave act has snowballed into threats and revelations keeps me on the edge of my seat, wondering how Dante will balance his badge with his heart when Rocco's name surfaces more clearly in the investigation. The WSB's role in shielding the killer adds that extra dimension of danger we haven't seen this intensely since some of the classic mob and espionage crossovers, and it proves once again that the show isn't afraid to challenge our assumptions about who the good guys really are. Ross's bloody warning to the nurses' station wasn't just a scare tactic, it was a declaration that the danger is personal now, and Dante's response to safeguard Liz demonstrates the kind of protective strength that makes him one of my all-time favorite characters. As the story builds toward what feels like an inevitable clash between justice and family ties, I find myself reflecting on how General Hospital has always used these hospital walls to mirror the complexities of life itself, where one blood test can unravel decades of carefully constructed lies. The Quartermain connection in the DNA isn't a random twist, it's a deliberate echo of the family's storied past of hidden truths and power plays. Yet, this time it feels more intimate and threatening because it implicates someone Dante cares about deeply. My personal take, which might differ from the official direction but is backed by every clue we've been given, is that this will force a reckoning not just for Dante and Rocco, but for the entire community that has looked the other way for too long. The obsession gripping Dante about potentially arresting his son adds a raw human element that tugs at my own experiences as a parent and grandparent, making every development feel profoundly real and emotionally charged. There's no slowing down the momentum here, with Liz's safety hanging in the balance and the pier shooting's full story on the verge of exploding into the open. I love how the writers keep layering in these connections, showing us that nothing happens in isolation in Port Charles, and the threat from Ross only intensifies the sense that time is running out for everyone involved. Dante's resolve to protect Liz by any means necessary before it's too late is the kind of decisive action that reminds me why I've stayed loyal to this show through every casting change and storyline shift. It keeps the drama feeling fresh and vital, like we're right there witnessing history in the making rather than just another recycled plot. The shocking knowledge Dante now holds about the shooter, tied so closely to the possibility of Rocco's involvement, creates this perfect storm of tension that has me eagerly awaiting each new episode, heart racing with anticipation for the next revelation that will surely change everything once again. In the end, this is why General Hospital remains my favorite escape after all these years, delivering stories that blend medical realism with pulse-pounding suspense and deep emotional truths. The current events surrounding Liz's risky choice, the startling DNA match pointing to the Quartermaines, Dante's growing understanding of the WSB cover-up, and the very personal threat from Ross all converge to create an atmosphere thick with excitement and uncertainty. Whether my theories about the full extent of Rocco's connection prove right or take an unexpected turn, the evidence laid out so far makes it clear that we're in for some of the most compelling television the show has offered in a long while. I feel the heat of these unfolding events every time I sit down to watch, and I know I'm not alone among longtime fans who cherish this kind of storytelling that keeps us guessing, caring, and coming back for more. The drama is alive and burning brighter than ever, promising twists that will keep us talking and theorizing for weeks to come, and I wouldn't miss a single moment of it.